crazy. Yesterday was insane, but yeah, it's the world is really in a very fragile place, and that's why I always say we have to look after each other and just spread that love because we're living in an extremely volatile time right now, and of course, from a business standpoint, as traders, we really we're able. It's a bit weird to say, but as traders now, we're looking for the entries and exits in the markets, right? But of course, the most important thing is to just whoever's in the UAE right now, I just sending you guys prayers and blessings and just good energy because it's very crazy, very crazy. But I believe you know things will calm down. I mean, I've been looking into the situation, and I'm not going to go too deep into it today, but from a market standpoint, I'm going to be covering a couple of things that really is going to affect this week.
Michael is here.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. So it's very important to understand, guys, this week is going to be volatile in the markets. This is not the time to start putting on five standard lots. This is the time to be very smart and it's time to be very tactical. And shout out to Michael, man. That's my guy. Sheesh! You made me smile today, bro. You made me smile today. Oh, man. Michael. All right, cool. Let's get into it, guys. We're going to touch on first and foremost is everyone on this call, I'm sure you all have your live accounts funded for tomorrow. Let me know in the chat box. Put a one in the chat if you're funded, ready to go. Again, when the signals start dropping, you don't want to be scrambling around for the money, right? You want to make sure that it's there, it's ready. Put a one in the chat if you're ready to go. And also, I did do a call last week where I was talking about MT5 and how to actually copy the trades. Now I do have literally I have a video on YouTube about exactly how to take the trades. Let me see if I can find it right now. Because I covered it on I think the first night of the bootcamp, I think it was last week. I covered the importance of, again, how to take the trades, how to manage your orders. Let me just see here on the Telegram. Let me see. No, what? Connect to MT5. Let's see. Yeah. So on this video, I talk about how to actually take a trade. Let me see if I do actually. 1 second. Yeah, so this video, there is a video here about how to create your brokerage account and connect it to MT5. It's on my YouTube channel. But again, guys, there are several on my bootcamp. I have so many videos on it on my YouTube. So just go to Derrick Alexander YouTube channel and it's there. I know you all are aware of how to do that, but I want to make sure that no one's getting left behind because, of course, this week's going to come quick. There's going to be a lot of the days will be fast. There will be a lot of trades coming through, but just make sure you have a stop loss. Make sure that you have risk management because this week is going to be very intense. Okay, guys? So everyone's called MT5. Put a 2 in the chat if everyone's called MT5. You're all aware of how to use it, guys. Copy pasting, stop loss, take profit, pending orders, and also moving your stop loss to entry, right? Very important. Now we're going to touch on now, secondly, synergy, right? And then we're going to talk about the scanners, GFU scanners, for those that are using GFU scanners. Then we're going to touch on Market Watch, what's happening in the world. Of course, I'm going to talk about a lot of things, particularly oil and gold and what's happening. And of course, then lastly, the outcome on gold. Now, for those that are asking me, Derrick, where's gold going to go tonight? I don't know, right? I'm not entering on market open. I'm not that crazy. I'm not going to just buy because yes, gold is going to shoot up. Gold will hit all-time highs. But I've been having a lot of conversations and it's going to be volatile. So I don't know if Synergy will be calling out trades when market opens. We'll be waiting to see what happens. There might be a retest, and I'll walk through on TradingView in a minute. But let's go into pro trader, right? Real quickly, we're going to touch on a system that we've been using, the wealth makers community have been using. It is incredible. People are making money, and we are really excited about the value that's being provided. So for those that are not in this system, of course, speak to your sponsor, your upline, they'll get you in. But basically, just to be very quick with this, this system has a phenomenal academy, right? And for those that are taking the synergy trades, please, every single one of you, before you start just randomly taking trades and before you start blaming your upline and calling them and, hey, what's wrong with you, man? You made me lose money. No. Before you start crashing out, please go to the Synergy Mastery course and go through the course. Please, guys. Okay, this is absolutely important. Okay, this course, as you can see, I've gone through all the modules myself. Why? Because I'm not going to tell you guys to do something that I haven't done, right? So I have gone through every single video. As you can see, this is my account. Look, Derrick Alexander, this is my account. Member, this is me, right? I've gone through every single video. Why? Because I want to make sure that you know that what I'm telling you to do, I've done it myself, okay? And this academy, this course, I've been in this trading game for 9 years. I'm telling you, this is one of the best courses I've seen. It's only 7 modules, but it walks you through how to take the trades like Synergy. And I want to be touching about it on TradingView very briefly. But basically, the way he trades, a lot of you have been asking me, Derrick, why is it that when Synergy calls out a trade, I place a trade and then it hits TP1 and then I move my stop loss to break even? That's gold moves. Gold likes to fake out. So just, guys, write this down, right? If you see a trade from Synergy and it's not within the zones of entry, do not enter it, okay? And I'll walk you, I'll open up the Telegram in a minute, right? But this course, guys, put a 7 in the chat if you've completed this course, if you've gone through the Synergy Mastery course. And put a 8 in the chat if you haven't. Guys, there's no shade. I'm just saying, I want you guys to really go through this because it will give you immense value, okay? It will give you immense value. It will teach you how to take the trades and how to successfully, right, enter and exit effectively. You have to learn how to layer the trades, how to successfully layer each trade, and how to buy and sell effectively. Now, he says, if he calls out a trade, he says, guys, buy gold between 5100 and 5105, you can enter only maximum 10 pips above. So in gold, if I go from 5000 to 5001, that's 10 pips. I know it's 1 point, but in gold, we calculate it by 10. So it's basically 1 point. So if he calls out a trade, don't go in 5-6 points above entry. Get in either within that zone, wait for the pullback, and then enter. Is everyone clear with that? Because some of you guys, you see, he says prepare for a buy, and you just buy. No. You have to be calculated. Trading is not about emotion. It's not about you just trying to make money. It's about you being tactical with your entries and your stop losses and moving that stop loss to entry. Now, when you hit TP2, TP2 is where the bills are paid. So what he says is, when you hit TP2, here's what you do. You can move your stop loss to entry at TP2. And when, for example, let's say you open up a trade, right? And it's open. Let's say the TP is open, right? At TP1, you take out 25 to 30% of your profit. TP2, you take out another 25 to 30%. And then TP3, you let that bad boy run all the way up. And then he will set profit targets. I'll show you guys in a minute, okay? But make sure you guys go through this course. Also, MT5 tutorials, getting started, and also setting break evens and taking partials. This is also very, very important to go through, guys. I promise you, doesn't matter how new you are, if you go through this, you will start to really understand the basic principles, right? You know, trading isn't like rocket science, but it just takes dedication to understanding certain principles. And I promise you guys, We got people making, guys, I'm going to show you guys the results group in a minute, right? The results that are being made, okay? So this is the platform. Of course, we've got scanners on the way. Live sessions are there Sunday and Wednesday. You know the vibes. Trade Journal. If you go on the Trade Journal and you watch these two videos, guys, I journal my trades. I've got a trade journal right here, right? I've got a black book right here, and I go through my trades. I look at where I went wrong. If I was too emotional, if I was revenge trading, I am able to assess my performance. You have to be willing to give yourself constructive criticism if you want to be a successful trader. You cannot just try to be perfect. You will have moments where you don't get it right, but that's where the trading journal comes into play. Okay, so that's pretty much the overview of Pro Trader, the platform. Of course, if you're brand new, please go through the welcome to the community, house rules, quick start guide, and the latest company news. As you can see here, we have exciting things coming. There's a video here if I can find it. There was a video that was here earlier about they had the actual the headquarters of PE Prime. So if any of you in the future, once everything calms down in the UAE, there is actually a headquarters, and we'll be heading down there in about a month or so, right? So there are so many exciting things happening with this system. This is a global network, and Wealth Makers, we are really about to we're talking about conferences, events with 5,000, 10,000 people, just our own team, right? That's how powerful this thing is going to be, all right? So let's get into the Telegram. Let me show you guys an example of some of the trades and how they look, because I was talking to a gentleman from Kenya, and we were talking about just like the trades, and Derrick, the trades are too fast. Guys, there are 25 trades a day. You don't have to take all 25 trades. I beg. Eh? Come on now. Huh? You don't have to take all 25 trades. Okay? But look at this. And there you have it, traders. 1,200 pips. No guesswork. No ifs, buts, or maybes, but just clean and mindset to hold and trade in line with the real money, right? The way this guy trades, he trades called institutional order flow. It basically means he trades with the banks. There's a term that we used to use back in the IML days called smart money. And it's basically where you are trading with the banks. So as opposed to trading where you're trying to trade against the banks, right? The retail traders, we only make up 10, 15% of the market. Majority of the Forex market is institutions, banks, hedge funds, governments, right? They control the banking system. They control the market. So I'll show you guys in a moment on the charts, right? But this is an example. So for example, look, this is last week, 92 trades, 83 wins, 9 losses, 90% win rate. So this is documented. When people ask you, oh, is this thing really working? Guys, I don't talk no more. I just show results. Okay, all the talking is for the birds. I focus on showing results. Are people making money? And me and Kat ain't gonna touch nothing if it's not making people money. Okay, it has to be solid. It has to be on point. And look at this, for example, right? Look at this. Now, this is an example of. I'm gonna give you guys a classic example of how this gentleman is killing the markets. Okay, for example, look. This is on Friday, right? Friday, the 27th of February at 2:08 p.m. GMT. Buy gold. 5220, 5215. Now, what some of you are doing is you're buying gold at 5217. Don't do that. The only entries you should be entering if the market is between 5220 and 5216, because he says you can enter 10 pips more. So if the market gets to 5216, you can still enter, even though it's not within the number. But you're allowed 1 point higher. Does that make sense? So basically, you've got 60 pips to enter between 5220 and 5215. Does that make sense? Okay. So if the market goes to 5221, my bad, 5221, That's the maximum, right? So the goal of trading is buy low and sell high, right? Buy low and sell high. So 5220. Let me go into the charts and show you guys real quick. 5215, 5220, 5227, 5232, stop loss 5214, TP3 5. Okay, 522. Oh, 5223, 527, 5232. Alright, cool. Let me guys quickly go to the charts and show you guys something, right? I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like when he calls out these opportunities, right? So I'm going to go to a clean gold chart and let's turn up. Let's make this money, man. Let's make this money. All right. So here we go, right? So let's just say I'm going to go back to the exact opportunity that he called out. So he trades off the 1 minute. So let me go to the 1 minute. Okay, bet. So he trades off the 1 minute. Because this is where the money, the institutional money comes in. Now, when you see a move, right? When you see a move like this move right here. So let me actually just get my highlighter. Okay. When you see a move like this, when you see a move like this, when you see a move like this, no, you know what? Actually, no, not even that one. When you see a move like this, when you see all red candles at one time, all green candles, all of this is called institutional money. This is not, retail traders can't do this. We don't have enough skin in the game, okay? We don't. All of these, see this right here? Let me zoom in on this bad boy. All of this stuff right here is institutional money. It means the banks are liquidating stop losses. So some of you have heard about something called liquidity sweeps, right? It's basically where okay, for example, let's say the banks, right? I'll just show you guys an example of this, right? All right, so let's just say the banks right now are trying to make money, okay? They need to leverage our positions, right? So let's say, for example, if the banks want to buy right here, their goal is to, their TP is right here. This is exactly how the institutional order flow works. It's called IOF, right? So let's just say if they want to buy right here, this is their target. Okay, so let me just write this down. Let me know in the chat box. Am I going too fast? Do you understand? Are you getting it, guys? Put one in the chat if you're with me so far. All right, I know it's a lot that I'm going through. I want to give you guys the psychology as to how he takes his trades. This is the actual strategy. This is the actual ball game. So the banks, okay, these are the banks. They are looking to make money. So what they do is they start here, okay? They start here and they say, yep, little Johnny, let's make some money today, mate. Yeah, no worries, mate. They start here. This is their target point. They go up, they go up, they go up. Now, once the market starts pushing up like this, what do most people do? Most people, when the market starts pushing up like this, right? They get excited. They get gassed. Oh my days, this is it. Oh, we're gonna make a bunch of money. Oh my gosh, we're about to be rich, right? Boom. The banks start buying. The banks have money. So guess what happens now? All of us, with our fast self, we start buying. And we start getting excited. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's going up. Oh my gosh. I start calling my friends. I'm like, yo, oh my god, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. Right? We start buying here. And we actually get to a good point, right? We start buying. Now this is how the money works. The banks know. Let me actually zoom out of this and just show you guys something as well, right? So look at this zone right here. This is literally, gold is on a different level, right? So in different situations, you would have more like movement here. But let's just say for this particular zone right here, the banks are seeing the excitement, right? Let me actually see if I can find something before I continue about this, right? Let me just see if I can find something. Fear and greed index chart. I learned this from a guy called Crypto Picasso many years ago. Where is it? 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 Crypto fear and greed. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find this source right here. I got this serious. All right, so let me. So, I don't know if I can find it. There was a literally like a thing. All right, so this is a website. This is closest to it anyway. This is the website called Coin Market Cap, right? So right now, people are in extreme fear. This is called the Fear and Greed Index chart. So guys, if you get into this, you know, and research it, but basically, as you can see right now, people are extremely fearful about crypto because they feel like it's tanked so much, whereas the smart people are buying the dips, right? So look at this. It was greed. Ha ha ha. They were all, we are going to keep making money, right? And then it now is down to extreme fear. So going back to this, right? As you can see here, people are getting excited. They believe they're about to get rich, right? They're about to buy the Lamborghini, right? What the banks do is they start selling their positions. So they buy, because remember, they're the ones that are raising the market. We think we're the ones. No. The banks and hedge funds and big investors, you got JP Morgan, you got Credit Suisse, Bank of America, all the biggest banks. They're moving, and bearing in mind, the US dollar and gold have a negative reverse correlation. So if the dollar's going down, gold's going up, and vice versa, right? And so this is crazy because Bitcoin has the same reverse correlation. Bitcoin and gold have a reverse correlation. So USD and Bitcoin are hand in hand. So if gold is going up, Bitcoin and gold is going down, right? That's why everyone's saying, because of what happened, you know, with the situation with Iran, that with Bitcoin going up temporarily, it's going to also tank down, which means that gold will go up, right? So this is what happens, right? The banks start because they raise the price of gold. People start buying because they think it's going to keep going up. And then the banks start selling their positions. And then what happens is all these buys that are here, if people have buys here, that means the stop losses are probably going to be around here, because the way we trade is, let's say, for example, we have this nice imaginary black line that we draw these trend lines. So of course, if we're looking at 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, more like price action stuff that we used to learn back in the day, now people will have their stop losses around here. Now what happens when the bank sells all of the money, the market tanks, and people's stop losses start getting touched? Now what it does is it takes out the money and it raises the liquidity, which means that now banks can now buy again. There's more liquidity, they have more room, boom, they buy, they sell our positions, they buy, they sell they need to use us as leverage, and then they hit their target. Put a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Put a 2 in the chat if that makes, does that make sense? So the banks are...
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you. So this is pretty much how it works, right? They wait for us to get excited, right? And then they sell and they manipulate the price. And now, listen, by then we've already made money, because that's why Synergy is so, because people say, how can this guy have a 90% win rate every week? It's because he trades like the banks trade. He doesn't trade against the banks. This is, look at all these candlesticks there. This is all bank money. Because now we hit the target, the banks liquidate it again, and then look, a few hours later, it's now back at the same target point. So this is pretty much what's happening. My prediction for gold, I don't know yet. We're gonna have to wait and see. The market could go either way. I believe it will. I believe it will keep rising up, but I think it will. It will definitely test some zones down here. It could test. Obviously, this zone here is already there. You've got zones like this. There's various levels that gold will touch. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to go straight up after market open. There will be a massive candle somewhere, but it's not smart to enter when the market opens. That is a very crazy thing to do unless you are just trying to just gamble all your money. I would be very careful with market open. Just wait and see what happens, and then of course we'll act accordingly. Okay. So that's pretty much how it works. So going back to the trading idea, right? So he said buy gold 5215, right? So between 5215 so he said buy gold, right? So let's do this. So buy gold 5215. Two, 5. Okay, so between 5215 and 5220. Okay. This is the zone where he said enter from. Okay. Now, some of you are entering here. If he says enter between this zone, this is where you enter. Okay. And you put the stop loss at 5214. So quite a tight stop loss, right? Quite a tight, it's only a 10 pip stop loss, but that's because it's a trade that gold moves fast, and if it touches stop loss, we go in again. Some of you are getting frustrated when we hit stop loss. That's the problem. Don't get upset. It's actually a blessing. Because what Synergy says is, when it hits stop loss, if you're not over leveraging your account, you really can get to the place where you're actually grateful, because it doesn't mean that it's a failure. Stop loss doesn't mean failure. It just means that the information is invalid. It means that move is invalid at that particular time, but our goal is to get to the target. So wherever we need to get to, we're going to get there. And as you can see, during this whole period, this is Friday, right? So Friday at 2 p.m. This is roughly when the trade was called out. As you can see, from when the trade was called, he called this trade at 2 p.m. This is look at where the cross is exactly where the trade was called, and look at from when he called this buy, look at where the market is today. If you had held that trade, my goodness, you would have been on a yacht right now. Derrick, I can't be on the call today. I'm on a yacht. It would have happened. But you closed your trade too early. You got too. You know what's funny about trading? People actually get more nervous when they're in profit rather than when they're even in a loss. Because when you're in a profit, it's like let the trade do its thing. If the market hits TP2, take out 25, 30%. If the market hits TP1, take out 20, 30%. But if you want to hold a trade, he will set runner targets. Now let me move on to the next stage now. When he sets runner targets, he says, look, TP1 hit. So for example, he called this trade out at 2:08 p.m., right? People doing love hearts and high fives or whatever. Fantastic. People like it. People are engaging. Then he said TP1 hit. 2 minutes later, hits TP1. Now what happens is some of you move your stop loss too early. He says he's risk-free at 5218. Okay? But he says you don't have to move your stop loss to entry right away because it will probably touch back your entry. So let it breathe a little bit. Take out 25-30% after TP1. And then you let that's if you haven't set it to TP1. What you can do is you can layer your trades where you can open up 3 entries. You can open up 3 to 4 entries, and one entry could have TP1, second entry could have TP2, third entry could have TP3, and if you have a fourth entry, it could be open TP. So now what happens is one hits TP1, you close out, you made money, but then the next one is still open for TP2. Does that make sense, guys? Put a yes in the chat. Does that make sense? Are you with me on that one? And then the third one will be TP3. And the whole idea is when it gets to TP2, you can move your stop loss to entry at TP2. And even if you don't want to, you can still have the stop loss below entry at TP2 just to give it some room. But if I add TP2, I would probably move it to entry. When it goes to TP3, definitely move your stop loss to entry and let the trade run. Now here's the rule about running trades, and shout out to Joanne. There was a young lady called Joanne that's in our team. She made 11 grand in like 4 or 5 days. You saw her testimonial. She spoke about the runner targets. You do not under any circumstances, even if, right, even if Arsenal win the Premier League. No, I'm joking. I don't want that to happen. But anyway, whatever happens in life, right, do not close your runner trades. If it's running. Now, here's an example, right? TP1 hit. 2 minutes later, TP2 hit. 90 pips. Then, literally, 9 minutes after that, it said TP3 hit 140 pips. I'm securing profits here. Stop loss is set to be at 5218, and I will target 5244, 5254, 5264, 5274, and 5700. Do not under any circumstances enter the market again at this level to target these unless I send a signal. So basically what he's saying is never close your runners. If I go to the recap, this is actually what made me even more cooked, right? It cooked my brain. It literally cooked me. TP1 is only 16 TPs. TP2 was 22. TP3 is actually more TP3s than even TP1s. So 44 TP3s hit. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, because if you're entering too many trades, you will end up losing. And then you end up revenge trading. If you're in a good trade, maximize it for all it's worth. If you're in a good trade and you're at TP3 and he says target these places, what you now do is you go to your MT5, you go to your runner trade, do not close it. Put the stop loss to entry. If you lose, you lose. Bearing in mind, at TP1, you've taken out 25-30% of your profit. So by TP3, you've already made 60% profit. But that 90%, that last 30% is now going to run up. Now, what you do now is you set the runner TP to one of these targets. And you let it do its thing. Then, a few minutes later, he done this. Right? This is it. So the banks were buying. We all got excited. We all got gassed. And then boom, the banks closed out all their trades. Again, they sold everything. Right? And then they bought again. So they liquidated all the stop losses down here, and that's why he says money. This is called liquidity. Liquidity is basically a term for money. Liquidity basically means how many orders can be placed in this particular market region without moving the price too much. The market's just moving up and down. I mean, gold has a lot of liquidity. That's why it's the number one traded currency for retail traders. I mean, Euro USD and Euro GBP are like close behind, and USD JPY is a disgusting pair to trade. Big money, especially when the market opens. But I would say gold is still all time, like in terms of right now, it is if you go on IG, all the traders trade gold because it is what it is. It's gold. Okay. So guys, put a 3 in the chat if you now know, and if you're a little bit clearer on how to take trades correctly and how to set runner targets and how to make money from the runner targets. I'm going to quickly show you guys, if those that are using the G3 scanners, you go to the G3 Live platform and you go on the left to scanners, okay? And what will happen is you get access to there's many scanners here, but the 2 that I want you guys to study is the Trend Wave and Sniper Pro. These are 2 still incredible scanners which are making people a bunch of money. So for those that are subscribed to G3, go on those 2 scanners, guys. I have a video on my YouTube, which is right here. I literally have a YouTube channel, a YouTube video, which is called Sniper Wave Strategy. I've done this 1 month ago, right? So I talk about the entire strategy on how to actually do that, all right? So please go through this video. I talk about how to utilize both scanners to make money, and it's a fantastic way to monetize from this system, how to really turn these scanners into money, okay? I go through the entire system, how to utilize Sniper Pro and Trend Wave, called the Trend Sniper Wave Strategy, to make this money. Okay, guys? So that's the scanners. Okay. This video, I'm going to put it into the chat right now so you guys can watch that. Now we're going to go into the market watch for the week, and of course what's been happening in the Middle East. I've got some source for you in regards to this, right? So basically what's been happening in the world is, I'm going to read out to you guys, I wrote some notes earlier. I've done some research on it. So on February 28th to March the 1st, 2026, Iran launched waves of ballistic missiles and drones towards the UAE, with spillover impacting major Gulf hubs and routes. Key UAE disruption points being reported include Dubai International Airport sustaining damage and injury. So Dubai Airport is actually closed right now. It's closed, okay? And I pray that everyone is safe, man, honestly. Incidents and fires linked to debris around Dubai landmarks, including the Burj Al Arab, which actually caught astray. There were missiles that were being targeted towards U.S. Army bases, and then the UAE intelligence soldiers intercepted. So most of the missiles landed in the Persian Ocean, but then some of them were on the land. That's why Burj Al Arab was hit. Port disruption, including a berth at Jebel Ali, affected by debris and fire response. Abu Dhabi incidents, including injuries from debris and drone strikes reported on the naval base area. Regional-wide aviation chaos as airports and airspace restrictions spread across the Gulf hubs, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, and others, triggering mass cancellations and reroutes. UAE officials, a lot of injuries. May God bless their families. It's been a crazy weekend. So why is this market moving? Now, aviation and logistics disruption is one of the biggest things. Through some of the world's busiest transit airports. Now, this is a really important thing that I want to show you guys, and this is the reason why oil, if any, I mean, I don't trade oil, but for those that trade oil, you're about to make a big bag. Insurance costs and risk pricing for shipping. Here's the thing: oil supply risk through the Strait of Hormuz, the key choke point markets obsess over. So basically, I'm going to show you guys right now. The Strait of Hormuz is basically a channel where the China get their oil, right? So they basically, I'll show you guys right now, right? This is important to know because this also affects gold as well. So I want you guys to be educated on what's happening. That's why I'm teaching you guys this stuff, okay? So the Straits of Hormuz, right, is basically this right here. Is this, okay? So Iran's right here. This is the Persian Sea where, so for example, missiles were being, boom, 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 and then of course they were being intercepted. A lot of the missiles landed in the sea, but then some of them came to the UAE. But this is the Strait of Hormuz, right? This is basically where a lot of the oil is transported through the UAE and to China, because China's on this side of the world, okay? As you can see here, you got a better picture here. Arabian Sea is right there, and this is a very small. It's a very small little channel. So this has actually been blocked off. So now oil prices are rising because there's less oil to go around. And so there are still countries like, let's say, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, which have oil, but they're not going to just give all their oil to China, are they? Right? There's oil that comes from Persia, from Iraq, from Saudi Arabia. Of course, these are the places where... So basically, the whole point is, what I'm saying is, the price of oil has already shot up, right? And if I go into the oil chart and show you guys, right, it's actually crazy, okay? What's been happening with oil, I mean, look at this, man. This is insane, right? There's a mass rise. Friday dropped, and of course now it's going to keep rising. I mean, as market opens, it's going to be insane, okay? So that's what's been going on, okay? So that's pretty much that. So now here is the market translation, okay? Let's see. So I was talking to someone about this earlier today. Now, safe havens. Gold is a safe haven currency, okay? So I put some notes here. In these regimes, markets typically rotate toward gold or the US dollar sometimes, but mainly gold. Sometimes government bonds. So let me actually write this down for you guys to make it even better, to make it even more interactive. All right, cool. So this is what's been going. This is kind of what's been happening with gold. 1 second. Let's see. All right, perfect. So aviation and logistics disruption, of course, and then oil supply risk. So it's not like it's completely blocked, but it's a very small chokehold of water. So of course, it could be blocked off, which means that oil prices are obviously going to rise, right? Right. So these are some of the things that's been going on right now. I'm not going to give you guys every single point. I'm just trying to be as simple as possible. Okay. Energy prices are going to spike as well. Now, oil will rise for sure. Okay. Now I'm going to read out some more things here. So, of course, in this situation, safe haven assets such as gold and government bonds are key places where people store their wealth. That's why they're saying gold is going to rise up, because people are really going to put a lot of money into gold. Bitcoin is down 0.49%. Ethereum is up 0.56%. S&P 500 is down 1.03%. Nasdaq is the Nasdaq 100 ETF is down at 1.21%. Now here's an interesting one. Some of the tech companies, Apple is up 0.69%. Microsoft is down 3%. Nvidia is down. Nvidia is up 0.9%. Tesla's down 2%. Meta's down 2%. Alphabet's down 1%. Amazon's down 2%. Okay. I want you guys to also do your research on the big six, because these are companies that, again, gold is also gold is also included. All of this revolves around gold, and gold revolves around all of this. So research into Apple stock, Microsoft. These are the big six tech companies that control the world. Okay, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, Tesla. Okay, these are the big six. Okay, so all these companies are down apart from Nvidia and Apple. Gold ETF is up 2.71%. Right? So here is a question that I wrote an answer to it, because I got asked this question earlier. Is the economy collapsing? Now, collapse is a strong word. But what is realistic is an inflation shock risk and growth headwind risk. If oil spikes and stays elevated, consumers and businesses get squeezed. That's slower growth plus sticky prices, and the world is better insulated than older oil shock eras because of efficiency, diversified energy, and strategic reserves. Okay, so it's the market's going to move crazy. Again, don't make any rational choices when you're trading tonight. Take your time. Don't listen to some cowboy trader on Instagram about gold's going to go up 1,000 pips. Just take your time with it, because you want to trade like a professional. Okay. So I got a lot of notes here, but I don't think it's as important. But I think, guys, right now, so guys, take a screenshot of this. This is just a few little tips for you. What's been going on? Of course, it is going to be an interesting week. Okay. There will definitely be an interesting NFP, that's for sure. So as we close out, I'm just going to go back onto Forex Factory. Well, I'm going to go onto Forex Factory, and then we're going to close out on that. This is a very, very, very interesting site that everyone should be on this site regularly, looking at what's going on. It gives you the news releases, high impact news, medium impact news, and low impact news. Okay. So the red folders means high impact news, orange folders mean medium impact news, and then yellow folders mean low impact news. Okay. So again, last week there was no high impact news, very, very, not much at all. Again, with this week, it's looking quite light, to be honest. There's not really much going on at all this week coming. So, yeah. Don't forget about the good old NFP on March the 6th, right? That's going to be an interesting one. How can we forget about NFP? That's the only one that will be. Apart from that, it's not really anything going on. NFP will be interesting. So on the first Friday of every month, the NFP is a non-farm payroll, which is basically an indicator of unemployment rates versus employment rates, non-farm payroll. So any job, any career, excluding agricultural and farming jobs, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we've got an interesting week ahead of us. Definitely take your time with the trades again, but guys, go through research about the situation. There's a lot more notes I took here, but it's not really relevant to this training. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be interesting, guys. Just follow the trades, follow the information that's being called out. Don't make any rash choices. Trade with caution, and yeah, let's make some money regardless, guys. So God bless you all. I appreciate you all being on the call. I hope you guys got amazing value tonight, and I hope that you guys are way clearer on the whole system that we have here at Wealth Makers. And if you have any questions, any queries, any concerns, please reach out to myself or any of the top leaders.
Can we ask you a question
More.
now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. You said some like you talk about Ethereum that Ethereum is high now. So is this the best time for to trade Ethereum? Because you are saying that Ethereum is high, maybe some are low
Yeah.
now, like something like Ethereum is high, Bitcoin is low. So if I'm trading Ethereum now, is it the best time for me to make money with like in
The thing about
cryptos?
Ethereum is I'm more of a I hold Ethereum long term. So
Okay,
I'm not really I don't trade. I only trade BTC on MT5. I don't really. My philosophy is not trading crypto. I invest in XRP, Ethereum, Chainlink, Cardano, Bitcoin,
okay,
Litecoin. But yeah, I would answer that because I don't know. I don't trade Ethereum day to day. I treat crypto as more of a long term play. Of course, I've bought more Bitcoin recently and
okay.
more Ethereum. I'm not advising them to do that, but I'm not scared of any. I'm not scared of a dip in the market. The gold is still at Bitcoin is still at 60 grand, so it's a perfect time. From what I can see, crypto's on sale right now. So you're able to get in and will Bitcoin go to 100,000 again? I don't know, but I know that we're definitely buying the dip. And again, being smart with it, but yeah, I don't trade it day to day. I only trade BTC only day to
Which is
day.
Bitcoin.
The rest of them I invest in. So if you want to
Okay.
get a little bit of Ethereum, I would advise it. Yeah.
You also talk about oil, as in oil is a bit expensive now because of the strike, air strike. Are you saying it's now advisable to trade oil?
Again, I don't trade oil myself, but
Okay.
oil will rise because the 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 channel where oil is transported to China, which is one of the biggest um, consumers of oil. Obviously,
Mm,
they're expecting the oil every week in the post, and of course, if the Strait of Hormuz, which is the that choke line
yeah,
in between Iran and the UAE, with all that's going on right now, it may be blocked, which means that the price of oil will go up because there's
you
more of
got
a demand for oil.
yeah,
Because there's oil available, but then the oil will have to go through different routes, maybe through plane, and then the airwaves are closed because the aviation companies are scared. So what are we gonna do? Do a submarine? It's gonna be even harder to get oil to these countries. So oil will spike, energy prices will spike, because then if you have to use airplanes to get to these places, I think it's definitely more expensive to operate a plane than a ship. So there's a lot of things that will go into the economy. I don't trade oil myself, but I do believe that it will go up.
yeah. In this situation, if I trade oil, am I going to make money?
Again, I don't know, bro. I mean, all I'm saying is it's gonna go up. I'm not telling you to
Okay,
buy. I'm not telling you to buy oil. I'm not advising. I'm not a financial advisor. That's not my role. I'm an educator. But
okay,
yeah, we'll talk about it offline anyway. I'll give you a call.
all right, all right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Appreciate you guys so much. Um, I guess so. Sam said, "I guess we should only place a trade only when Synergy makes the call." Yes. Of course, if you have your own strategies, of course, be careful with that. But if you know how to trade yourself, then of course you can look at your own entries. But if you are really just trying to copy a very successful trader's trades, then definitely Synergy is the person to copy. Yeah. So appreciate you guys so much. If you have any more questions, let me know in the DMs or give me a call, give me a message. Don't forget tomorrow morning motivation. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I'm going to be talking about a lot of incredible things. Going to help you guys in the mindset and so on. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I'll see you guys there. And don't forget we have back again Tuesday, Sunday presentations. Tuesday trading calls. So we are here to help you guys. Anything that you need, let's make it happen. Get on that. Get on the charts tonight. When Synergy calls out those trades, get into the markets, guys. Trade. Let's make some money. And don't forget, guys, as you're in the chat, when you're making money, post it in the chat. Post it in the group chat. Show the excitement. If you have any questions about anything or any analysis about gold or what you think could potentially happen, any interesting insights, drop it in the chat as well, guys. Let's build the most phenomenal community. Let's change the world, guys. Love you guys. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Thank you.